The Galactic Empire had ruled the stars for millennia. Its fleets, vast and unchallenged, stretched across the galaxy, effortlessly crushing any planet that dared oppose its might. From the shimmering ice worlds of the Helix Nebula to the volcanic moons of the Tyrian Belt, the Empire had conquered it all. It was a dynasty built on fear and overwhelming force. And then came Earth. At first, the Galactic Senate had laughed. Earth, a barely noticeable speck in the corner of the galaxy, one high-ranking officer scoffed. Their fleet consists of a few thousand outdated ships. They wouldn't last a second against our might. The fleet Earth had sent to the Outer Rim was, indeed, tiny, a mere fraction of the Empire's gargantuan armadas. But it wasn't the size of the fleet that mattered. It was the nature of the people behind it. The humans had a reputation for something the Galactic Empire could not comprehend: willpower. In the heart of the Empire's capital, on the enormous command deck of the flagship Reign of the Stars, Grand Admiral Trigon watched the holographic map, his gaze scornful as the Earth fleet entered the star system. It looked insignificant, like a mosquito buzzing around a lion, but it was that very mosquito that would soon bring the Empire to its knees. "We should squash them like insects," one of Trigon's subordinates said, his voice dripping with condescension. "Their technology is primitive, and their ships are old relics." Trigon turned to him, his yellow eyes narrowing. "You underestimate them, Commander. They've survived far more dangerous opponents than us. I suspect there's more to these humans than we realize." The battle began as expected, initially. The humans' tiny fleet, with its aging technology, formed a defensive perimeter around Earth. They had no chance against the Empire's 500,000 dreadnoughts, each one larger and more powerful than the combined fleet of several planets. But it was the humans' tactical genius that surprised the Empire. The first move came from Earth's flagship, the Vanguard. The ship, though not as impressive as the Empire's Titans, was a symbol of human ingenuity. The captain of the Vanguard, Captain Sarah Ellis, had spent years preparing for this moment. She knew that brute force would never win this war. Humans would need to rely on something far more dangerous: strategy. As the Empire's dreadnoughts moved into position, the Vanguard released a series of EMP bursts, temporarily disabling the targeting systems of the nearest Imperial ships. The human fleet, despite being outgunned and outnumbered, instantly turned the tables, their small but precise vessels weaving through the Empire's lines, exploiting every weakness in the gigantic warship's armor. How are they doing this? Trigon growled, watching in disbelief as his fleet was thrown into disarray. Their ships, they're moving like ghosts. But it wasn't magic. It was human willpower, the ability to think beyond the limits of a computer, to adapt and improvise. Earth's fleet wasn't just a collection of ships. It was a force driven by the burning desire to survive, to protect their home. Trigon's mind raced. Their ships are inferior, yet their tactics are superior. This must be a fluke. As the battle progressed, the humans began to cut down dreadnought after dreadnought, using unconventional strategies that baffled the Empire's commanders. The Vanguard herself was a symbol of the human will, her crew fighting with such intensity that it seemed as if the very fabric of space itself bent to their determination. But Trigon wasn't about to let his pride be shattered by a fluke. He activated the Empire's Voidfall Protocol, an overwhelming wave of firepower designed to annihilate any foe, no matter how clever. His fleet's remaining ships began to charge up their superweapons, each one capable of wiping out entire star systems. "This will be the end of them," Trigon muttered to himself, his hand hovering over the activation button. However, just as the superweapons fired, the unexpected happened. The Vanguard released its final ace, a swarm of advanced drone fighters, each carrying a single payload, a gravity distortion device capable of redirecting the Empire's own energy blasts back at them. The explosion that followed was catastrophic. Trigon's own fleet turned against itself as its superweapons detonated within their own hulls, sending shockwaves across the galaxy. The Reign of the Stars was the first to fall, its towering structure crumbling in the wake of its own fury. "Impossible?" Trigon whispered, staring in disbelief as his fleet began to disintegrate around him. "We We were supposed to be unstoppable, but the humans were not finished. Captain Ellis, still alive and determined, gave the final command to launch Earth's last assault, the Solstice Wave. It was a weapon that had been under development for years, a system that could harness the power of a collapsing star, using it as a singularity to create a black hole. The human fleet activated the wave, and within moments, the Empire's remaining dreadnoughts were drawn into the event horizon, disappearing into nothingness. The few remaining Imperial ships fled, but they were too late. Earth's fleet had not only survived, but had crushed the unthinkable. 500,000 dreadnoughts, each one a symbol of the Empire's dominance, were obliterated in a single calculated move. The Galactic Senate was in turmoil. The news of Earth's victory sent shockwaves through the Empire. For the first time in millennia, the Galactic Empire had encountered a species that not only resisted but defeated them. It was a humbling realization for those who thought themselves invincible. As for Captain Ellis and her crew, they didn't celebrate the victory. Instead, they stood on the bridge of the Vanguard, gazing out at the wreckage of the battle. "We didn't win because we had the most ships or the most firepower," Captain Ellis said, her voice steady but full of pride. "We won because we never gave up. We fought for Earth, not because we were superior, but because we had something worth fighting for." And as the remnants of the Imperial fleet scattered into the void, one thing became clear to the galaxy. Earth may have been small, but its people were anything but weak.